Hi there, I'm Emma Kemp, design team member for Creative Expressions. In today's video, I'm going to show you how I made this gatefold spinner card for the Festive tile collection by Jamie Rodgers Crafts. So to begin, I'm coming in with some of Jamie's Gladiator Red Elite card, marking the long side in 4 equal parts and leaving a centimetre section at the end. So here I'm marking at 7.2, 14.4, 21.6 and 28.8 centimetres. The shorter side of the card is trimmed just shy of, I'm going to say, 19.5 centimetres. So as you can see here, I have folded and burnished along each of those 4 measurements. Next, I've come in with some Creative Expressions foundation card in emerald, and I've cut this to the same size as the red card except for the 1 centimetre flap on the end. And you can see I've lined this up with the red card and marked the same 4 fold lines, which I've then folded the same way as what I did with the red card. And this green card is going to form the outer gatefold flaps. Now, because the green card is slightly shorter than the red card, when you wrap it around to create those gate flaps, you'll find that you have a space in the middle. Now, for me, it's not an issue because I'm creating a gift wrapped effect at the end, but if you do want your front flaps to meet, then just cut your card in half like I'm just showing you here quickly, and then you can adjust those flaps as you stick them down to make sure they meet at the front. If they don't meet at the back, that's fine because you can cover them. Next, I'm coming in with the plain rectangles die set from Jamie Rodgers Crafts, and I'm cutting the 3rd size down twice from Jamie's Polar White Elite cardstock. Once cut, I set one of these aside for later to make the side panels, and I then take the ovals die set, also by Jamie Rodgers Crafts, to cut the oval out of the first white panel, and this creates our window. Now, because I'll be mounting this piece of white card over the red, I use the oval as a template to draw my oval onto the red card. And as you can see, when I open this up, the centre fold and indeed that 1 centimetre flap are on the right hand side. I then take Jamie Rodgers Crafts scalloped oval, and I use that pencil line as a guideline to cut the scalloped oval. I then take the original oval that I just used on the white card, and I use this to cut from that red scalloped oval a scalloped border. Now, as I was actually saying all of that, that felt like a lot of information in one go. So I thought I'd take this opportunity just to pause the video and remind you that when you're watching this back, you will usually, depending on what platform you're watching it on, have the option to stop the video, rewind it. So for example, when you're watching on Facebook, which I think most of our followers do, if you tap the video as you're watching it, you'll get the little toggle bar coming up at the bottom, and this will allow you to drag it forward, drag it backwards. There should also be 3 little dots on my screen. They are in the bottom right hand corner of the screen, and when I click on these, it gives me an option to adjust playback speed. So if you've got those options, they're worth using if you're finding that the video moves a little bit too fast or you need to pause for a second. Going back to the tutorial, so you'll remember before I had the whole piece of emerald cardstock and I'd folded it 4 ways and then cut it down the centre. I now take another piece of emerald cardstock cut to exactly the same size as one of those halves, so it's folded down the centre, and I mount this as shown to the left hand side of that red card. You'll see when the card is complete that this green will form the back panel that will show through the spinner window. And you can see that I've now turned this over, and I'm going to mount that white oval window over the red part here, and then I'm just reinforcing those fold lines, ensuring that everything's lined up, and then I'm going to take the scallop border that we created earlier, but I do just need to trim some of that white oval away to make sure that it's not showing through behind the red. Next, using a strip of emerald card and the elegant poinsettia oval die set from Jamie Rodgers Crafts, I take the 2 poinsettia corners and cut each one out twice. I then add these to each corner with Jamie's clear drying glue. As you can see, when I hold this all together without sticking, the box shape and the centre panel is now coming together nicely. So now, before I adhere the gates, I just need to use them as a quick guide to size up the mats that I want to place on the inside of each gate flap. You can see that I'm doing this here, and there's a slight green border around the edges, and then I'm adhering my gates, and you'll see when I do this that, like I said earlier, the flaps won't meet in the middle, and this is absolutely fine because I'll be covering the outside later on. Taking the Sentiments DL stamp from the tile collection, I stamped the largest Merry Christmas tile using Jamie's quick drying pigment ink in Black Panther, and you'll actually need 2 of these. Next, we need to heat emboss and cut the small tiles for the panels on the inside of each gate flap. I'm taking the smaller With Love tile from the Sentiments DL stamp set, the Merry Christmas smaller tile from the Winter Scenes DL stamp set. Finally, this small, I'm going to call it snowflake tile from the Poinsettia DL stamp set. So as you can see here, I've just prepped the surface of the red and green card with an anti-static powder bag. It's from Woodware Crafts, and I'm using Versamark watermark ink, and I've used approximately 16 red and 16 green in total, and I've done kind of an even spread of the patterns, and you can see this when you see the finished card. You can follow this as you want, or you can do however you want. There's lots of different options here in terms of colorways. You know, it doesn't even have to be Christmassy. You know, you can change up the colors, you can change up the little tiles, and remember, you're not just limited to Christmas here. We've got our previous tile collection stamps as well, which include things like birthday tiles, ornate tiles, and floral ones with butterflies and things like that. So you do have lots of options here. And talking of the previous collection, I've actually taken the nested tiles die set from that collection to cut these small red and green tiles. So here you can see I'm taking a small panel, and I'm just making sure that it fits with a slight white border around it on each of those panels that we've stamped the Season's Greetings on. And we're going to end up with 4 of these panels in total, and I make them identical. So as you can see here, I've marked the top and the bottom centre and then the middle centre, and I'm using these marks just as guidelines really for placement of my tiles. And I actually place these in a alternating red and green pattern, and I try to evenly disperse the different tile designs, but you can do this in whichever way you want. You can also see that they all fit together beautifully, and what this allows you to do is to use tiles from across our tile collection. So you might want to add some birthday, you might want to add some ornate, like I said earlier, and mix and match them, and you can do that. So here you've seen all those 4 tiles come together, and I mean, they're absolutely beautiful. And when you see these finished panels, they really do look stunning and so simple to make. And they'd be great as standalone cards, but equally you could make them as bookmarks. You know, you've got lots of options, as I always say. So here you can see I've just taken some little strips. I didn't measure these really, I just cut them and trimmed them to the width of each panel, and I just added a little border above and below the Season's Greetings. And I'm adhering these now to the inside of each of the flaps, and you can see the card is really coming together now. Now I'm just taking some strips, and again, no particular measurement for these. You can do them as thick as you want. These are just going to create the ribbon effect on the outside of the card, and they're really just there so that I can cover up that gap that I'd created in the middle. I leave the outside of this quite plain. I just add the 4-way crossed ribbon, but you can go further. You know, I didn't want this video to drag on for too long. You know, you're going to have your own ideas, but you can add patterns, you can add tiles to those little sections on the outside. So it's your choice how detailed you want to make it. Now, to create the belly band, I'm starting by cutting the poinsettia decoration using the elegant poinsettia craft die set from Jamie Rodgers Crafts. And again, this is from Gladiator Red Elite cardstock. For the band, I found that cutting the strip from the longest side of an A4 sheet of Gladiator Red card was actually not long enough to wrap around the whole card. So I've had to cut another small piece to create an extension. And then I'm just coming in now and I'm preparing the poinsettia petals. I use my tool, this is my pokey tool, and I just use that to shape the leaves. You can use anything that you have available in a similar shape. I'm then coming in with our rainbow gems, the 6mm ones, and I'm just taking one of the red ones to add to the centre. And there's my finished poinsettia. So I'm just going to adhere this now to the centre of the belly band. And now on to the next step. Now, I'm going to walk you through how I did this, but then I am going to pause and I'm going to give you an alternative way, because at the end of this I wasn't actually happy with how my spinner spun. It wasn't quite right, and there is a better way of doing it, I think. So as you can see, I've taken a piece of thickish string, and it's roughly the length from top to bottom of my card, and I've adhered it to the top, and then I've taken one of the two larger tiles that I stamped and die cut, and I've adhered it down the middle of that, added more glue, and then adhered the other side. And then I've done the same with just sticking it at the bottom with some glue, and then there's just two small bits of, this is micropore tape that I'm using, but you can use any tape. And finally, we're sticking that flap down so that we can close our card. We couldn't do this until we'd added the spinner. And there you go, it's taken shape beautifully. So I'm going to show you how the card spins. So you want to give it a good spin, as much as the string will allow, and close your card up. So I'm just going to take you through the motions of that here, so you can see the finished card and how it will look to the recipient. So the belly band goes on, and you've just got your own little gift there, and like I said, you can decorate it anyhow you want. So the recipient would remove the belly band, they'd open the card, they'd form the box, and you'd get that lovely spin. Here is where I'm going to pause. So I don't know if you can see from this freeze frame here, but after the tile has spun, the string at the top and bottom of it has gone slightly loose and baggy. I've made two mistakes here, and I want to correct this to make sure that you don't do the same thing. First of all, I've used completely the wrong type of string. I think it was too thick, but also I used wax string, and I don't know why I did that, what possessed me. It was just the nearest thing to me when I grabbed it and I was filming and I wasn't thinking. Wax string, if you haven't used it before, is quite sticky. So not great to create a spinner card with. You really want something quite thin and smooth. I've had success with sewing machine thread, metallic sewing machine thread, in fact, in the past has been really, really good with spinner card, because the metallic thread in it gives it that smoothness. Thin, smooth, non-sticky thread would be ideal. The other mistake I made is how I adhered it. So what you actually want to do is anchor it at the top and bottom. Because I've just glued and taped mine, when I've spun it and the fibres have wound, they've pulled away at the top and bottom on the back there, and that's why they've become loose. So if I'd have actually cut the string much longer so that we had excess at the top and bottom, I could have then taken a small strip of card and used that as an anchor. So just a small strip, no thicker than that little piece of card at the top of the oval there, wrapped some of the string around it, glued the strip down, run the wire down and stuck the centre tile on it as shown, and then at the bottom I would have taken another thin strip of card and wrapped the string around that to pull the string taut before sticking that strip down. Just remember, if you're going to do it that way, both of the strips need to have a score line so that they fold with the box shape of the card. But that's definitely a better way to do it, so that you anchor that string so that when you're spinning it, it doesn't unravel. But hopefully with using thinner string and smoother string, it will reduce the problems that I had. So hopefully that is helpful and a better way to do it. But regardless of that little hiccup, I am really pleased with how this card turned out, and I appreciate it was quite a long tutorial, but I really hope you found some inspiration. Thank you so much for watching, as always. And if you're not following Jamie Rodgers Crafts or Creative Expressions already, please do follow us on our socials. Take care.